This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane Broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. Hey, I feel good today. Me and James Brown, I feel good. Hell, I sing worse than I talk, but that's okay. Today's a good day for me. You know, I usually have bad days and real bad days, but today's really not even a bad day, because I sit down and I listen to what I said a couple days ago, and I'll be damned, I'm going to make a difference today and every day. You can make a difference. And we'll sing that song, and I'm going to play it a little bit later to motivate everybody. That ought to be my theme song, because they're going to know we were around in 20 years. We may make some hay. We may make some hell. We may do some things that may not be totally correct, politically or otherwise, but these rotten son of a bitches will know that we were here, like a dog marking his territory. Hey, we're going to take care of our community service housekeeping. Then we're going to go down to East St. Louis. We're staying up here in Belleville. And feel free to call. This is America's Voice of Freedom. We are the Patriot. We're this radio station that belongs to the people, not the politicians, belongs to the people. So anybody, I'm not going to jump your ass. People say, Bob, I'd call you, but you crazy son of a bitch, you jump my ass. I'm not going to jump your ass unless you need your ass jumped. And I won't jump your ass if I disagree with you. I'll jump your ass if you come up with some stupid crap. So feel free. Toll free, 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. Get your 15 minutes of recognition, because as Americans, we all deserve our 15 minutes of recognition. Family-friendly quarters auction benefiting the Children's Dyslexia Center of Southern Illinois, a Scottish Rite charity, the great guys, all the Shriners, all the Scottish Rite people. We appreciate you guys. It'll be Saturday, January the 30th. Located at 1549 Frank Scott Parkway West in Belleville. Doors open at 6:30. Bidding begins at 7. Free admission. You have to rent a paddle for $5. There'll be hamburgers, hot dogs, French fries, cash bar. If you want to get involved, or if you're concerned, you can contact 618-235-9392. I talked to a dear lady last night, a great friend of mine. I'm friends, and I love them to death. Mr. and Mrs. Dombacher, they own Dombacher Trucking in Freeburg, and a great group of people that live in Freeburg. It's a great little town, great place to live, great place to visit. She sent me some information. They're having a benefit for Brian Mooch Harner, and they're having a chicken and beer dance and silent auction coming up February the 13th from 6 p.m. to midnight at the Madison County Fairgrounds in Highland, Illinois. There's going to be music by Chapman Brothers Band. It's $20 per person. Brian's worked for Steve Smith for 5 years. I guess that's a car dealership in Highland. Say he's the hardest working man that they know. He's got stage 2, I believe, cancer. They're trying to help him out. And I want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Dombacher from Freeburg. They sent this information and asked if we would try to help Mr. Harner, who they say is a great guy. So anything that you guys can do, we would appreciate it. There's not a telephone number here, I don't believe, but it's going to be February the 13th from 6 p.m. to midnight at the Madison County Fairgrounds in Highland. Music by Chapman Brothers, a benefit for Brian Mooch Harner, Chicken and Beer Dance. Apparently he's got a lot of support and a lot of friends in the Highland area. And again, I want to say hello to Mr. and Mrs. Dombacher from Dombacher Trucking in Freeburg, Illinois. Great people, great town. Thank you very much, Mrs. Dombacher. Mary Dombacher, thank you. Vietnam Air Conflict Agent Orange Town Hall Meeting. The Clinton County Vietnam Vets of American Chapter 269, they're holding a meeting about Agent Orange. The town hall meeting will be held, well, hell, that's already passed. That's on the 23rd. I guess we already read that. Mouse races in Dupo coming up February the 20th at the American Legion in Dupo, Illinois, post 485, located at 200 South 5th Street in Dupo. Races start at 7. Tickets are $10. You can contact Victor Heitman at 618-337-3202 if you need any information. St. Wenceslaus Trivia Night. Have an early Valentine's celebration with us. It's Saturday, February the 13th at 7 p.m. at the corner of Oregon and Arsenal in South St. Louis. $20 per person, limit of 10 per table. Any questions or concerns, you can contact Kathy at 314-588-0770. Silver Creek Quail Forever Club, Saturday, February the 13th. Chicken and Beer Dance in Albers, Illinois. $25 per person, $30 at the door. Music by Cactus Moon. Great band. John McGuire, the chief of Swansea. He's one of the lead vocalists and I believe guitarist in the Cactus Moon band. Great guys. Any information, you can contact Dan at 618-920-0074. The Department of Veteran Affairs, their St. Louis Fisher Trivia Night will be held at the Northwest Chamber in St. Louis. The Masonic Lodge number 1, they're sponsoring their 3rd annual Trivia Night to benefit the St. Louis Fisher's House. Starts at 6:30 on February the 13th at the Moolah Shrine Temple, 12,545 Fifi Road in St. Louis. Any questions or concerns, you can contact, is there a number here? No, there's not a, there is a number. Hold on, don't confuse me. 314-291-2131. Granite City Masonic Lodge Barbecue, located at 20th and Cleveland in Granite City. Friday, January the 29th, this Friday from 11 a.m. till it's sold out. Any questions or concerns, contact, who we contacting? Matt at 618-381-4831. Friends of the Columbia, Illinois Masonic Lodge, number 474, their trivia night. That's coming up in March. We'll get to that later. Don't forget, you can pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper of Radio. You can go to our streaming, insanebroadcasting.com. One word, common spelling for all 3 of our great stations. You can hear my repeat performance every day, Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock p.m. And also now broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every Monday through Friday at the stroke of midnight. On this date, January the 27th, 1814, the United States Congress established the United States Army with over 62,000 men back in 1814. On this date, January the 27th, 1951, an era of atomic testing in the Nevada desert began. On this date, January the 27th, 1959, NASA selected 110 candidates for the first U.S. space flight. On this date, January the 27th, 1967, astronauts Virgil Grissom, Edward White, and Roger Coffey were killed in a fire aboard the Apollo spacecraft while still on the launch pad. On this date, January the 27th, 1970, the Senate passed a bill allowing the FBI to enter without warning or ID during any drug raids. On this date, a great date in history, January the 27th, 1973, the Vietnam Peace Accords were signed in Paris, formally bringing an end to the longest foreign war in United States history at that time. That's what happened on this date, January the 27th, throughout all these years in our world's history. I want to put a shout out to the sheriff of Marion County, Richard Stevenson. He lost a deputy, and our condolences go out to the family of Deputy Adam Conrad. He was a young deputy, I think 22, 23 years old. He was killed in an accident this weekend. So Sheriff Richard Stevenson, I know you guys are in mourning, but we want to say, keep your heads up. I know Marion County is a great place to live. That's the Salem, Centralia area, and I know the sheriff was involved in trying to keep the Murray Center open. So Sheriff Rich Stevenson, we want to salute you and all your deputies at Marion County Sheriff's Department, and again, our condolences for the loss of your deputy, Adam Conrad. I really want to say hi. I had breakfast today with two of my great friends, Captain James Goodwin and Sergeant Denny Weisbrot. They're retired Belleville police officers. What great guys. And it was Denny's birthday yesterday. And, if we had policemen like Weisbrot, like Goodwin, and like the ex-chief Barry Beal, we wouldn't have these problems because those guys went out and kicked some ass. They didn't play politics. They played police. Back in the 80s and early 90s, you could be safe in Belleville. Now they got that bitch boy, Chief Clay, who kisses every politician's ass. Hell, he can't see his gun. His lips are so big and puffy from kissing everybody's ass. But I want to salute again Captain James Goodwin, Sergeant Denny Weisbrot, and Chief Barry Beal, all retired from the Belleville Police Department. Guys, we wish you were back because you guys do a great job. Also, I want to say hi to Captain Eric Shelton. He's a fireman over in the North St. Louis Fire Department. So I want to put a shout out to Captain Eric Shelton and all of our first responders, policemen, firemen. What a bunch of great guys. A couple days back, I was at Oscar's Tavern and the Double Deuce Tavern, both in Cahokia. I had people wanted to meet me out there. I don't know why. I guess they want to see if I'm really that ugly. But it's really humbling when you go to places and people say, Bob, I listened to you. I believe in what you're saying. And some of them say, Bob, I'm your fan. And you've heard me before. No, I'm your fan, people. If you listen to my show, you take the time. I appreciate you. I'm not a big shot. I never want to be what I hate, a big shot. I told my buddies today, if I ever become a big shot, if they're my friends, I said, do me a favor, beat my ass, because you need to get me back down to normal, because I never want to be what I hate, what we all hate, a no good big shot. But anyway, I want to say thanks to everybody at Oscars and the Double Deuce in Cahokia. And there's a shop with a cop, one of the nice people I met in Cahokia. Her son is a proud DuPo police officer, and there's going to be Cosmic Bingo on February the 27th at the DuPo American Legions. Doors open at 6:30. The Cosmic Bingo starts at 7. It's they're going to get money, shop with the cop, and I guess they're going to take the less fortunate children and take and shop them to show everybody that the police officers are good guys, not bad guys. So I want to thank everybody for that. I may have Carl Officer coming in just a little bit. We're going to talk a few more about politics. But I got to say, Bear Civic, you guys heard me talking about that no good son of a bitch. I'm getting ready to file more complaints. It's going to be in the state Supreme Court because these guys could not, and most of you listen, they know what's going on in St. Clair County. They tried to circumvent the Illinois state constitution. They wanted to run for election instead of retention, which they can't do. But this no-good, rotten bastard Chief Judge John read on the noodle like a pecker on a poodle, a no-good, rotten bastard. And people say, Romanik, you can't talk about, I'm talking about a no-good sleazebag. I'm not talking about a professional, honorable judge that's sitting on the bench in St. Clair County. I'm talking about a piece of crap that needs to be flushed down the toilet. The political toilet, of course. This no-good son of a bitch, you're going to talk about me, and that's okay. But he's going to talk about every Republican. He doesn't respect the Republicans. And this son of a bitch is sitting on the bench. This bastard has to avoid the appearance of impropriety. Not avoid impropriety from the bench, but has to avoid even the appearance of impropriety. And this no good son of a bitch thinks from the bench he's going to talk. Get off that high horse of yours, you old no good, sawed off, wrinkled up, shriveled up piece of political crap. And besides that, I told you he talked to a reporter a few days ago about me and about the Republicans and about everybody that don't kiss their ass. That's who these bastards, these evil culture of corruption in St. Clair County, that's who they hate. But a reporter called him at 4:45. Reporter tells me, I got him at the courthouse, Bob. I said, how? He said, well, I called the courthouse. So follow this through. He called Barra Civic at the courthouse, 4:45. Barra Civic still worked and never works that late, but apparently, he was going over to the tavern or something afterwards. This reporter got him at the courthouse. He was in his office that we pay for, in the courthouse that we pay for, on our time, the salary that we pay for as hardworking taxpayers. The son of a bitch was on the phone that we paid for, the hardline phone, and he talked about politics, about what a good guy he is, trying to knock down the Republicans that are fighting him. Now listen, people. 720, the Illinois Revised Statutes, Section 33-3, official misconduct. A public officer or employee or special government agent, and that's a judge, commits official misconduct, a felony, in his official capacity or capacity as a special government agent when he commits any of the following acts. B, knowingly performs an act which he knows is forbidden by law to perform. He knows he can't use our taxpayers' equipment to play politics to further his political career. So thus, there's an official felony misconduct charge. C, with the intent to obtain a personal advantage for himself or another, him and his Democratic Party, he performs an act in excess of his lawful authority. I will give somebody $1 zillion if you can find where a judge, some of his authority is to use our phone on our time in his office that we pay for, on the telephone that we pay for, in his official capacity as a sitting judge, and talk about how bad he disrespects the Democrats and what a piece of crap I am. And, he may be right about me, but there's a lot of good people out there, both Democrats and Republicans. They don't need to be talked down to by a no-good, rotten son of a bitch like John Red on the Noodle, like a pecker on a poodle, Chief Judge John Barra Civic. With the intent to obtain a personal advantage for himself, he performs an act in excess of his lawful authority. And that was an act in excess of his lawful authority. Could not use that phone for personal gains, his political gains. Brendan Kelly, St. Clair County State's Attorney, I'm calling you out. We demand that you indict John Barra Civic for official misconduct. I can read the statute. They've already circumvented the Constitution and the statute that says they have to run for retention. Now, I guess these judges and these bastards in St. Clair County, it's do as I say, not as I do. People, that's what we're tired of. That's what the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition is all about. We're tired of this crap, and we're not going to take it anymore. If you did something wrong, I did something wrong, we'd be under the jail. They fight me 3.5 years on a Class B misdemeanor, cost you people $150,000. You're going to make an example out of me? I got your example. I just flushed it down the toilet in the bathroom, you bastards. But people, you got to stand up. If they do that to a crazy son of a bitch like me who fights them, what kind of chance do you good people have? Together, we can stop this. It's taken 40 years, people. It's the perfect storm in 2016. But Barra Civic, there's going to be complaints filed today with the Judicial Inquiry Board. I filed some in the past about you running for office instead of retention. And you can't sit there as a judge and talk that crap, Barra Civic. You know it. Everybody at the courthouse knows it. All the other judges know it. The Supreme Court justices know it. They're talking about you like a dog up in Springfield. And you want the people of St. Clair County to elect you again? Are you nuts, you idiot? Are you nuts? And Barra Civic, you'll talk to the reporter from the Post-Dispatch? Give me a call, you no-good chicken crap bastard. You want to talk behind my back? I'm talking to your face, Barra Civic. Do the same, you no-good son of a bitch. And your son, Blue Job Barra Civic, running for Congress. You guys just want to take over the whole county. Well, people, if you elect Blue Job Barra Civic and elect John Red on the Noodle like a pecker on a poodle, Barra Civic, you better get your ass out of St. Clair County. because these guys going to stink up this county more than they've stunk it up, and that's difficult to do. But you ever notice, them no good son of a bitches never defend themselves because they have nothing to defend. We've got some callers. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Yes, Bob. My name is Don. I'm from Alton, Illinois. I have a question for Carl Officer whenever he comes in, if you'll ask him for me. I listen to your show almost every day, and I really do like it.
Well, thank you, sir.
That's the way it is. I'm 73 years old, and I was in the service from 68 to 70.
Well, I'm going to salute you. Wait a minute. So I've got to stop you. I'm going to salute you, sir, for your service to our great country. Thank you very much.
Very much. The statement that he made yesterday about the empty houses in East St. Louis that they're voting out of when they're not there, isn't that pretty easy to take care of, to check it? All they got to do is list all the empty houses in East St. Louis with their addresses, and then take the polls and then cross-reference that and see how many people voted that day living in them empty houses. It would be pretty easy to do. And also they can go and take the gas and the lights and the sewer records of these houses. They apparently don't have any sewer or gas or lights in these houses, but they got registered voters living in them.
Carl,
so they can check the rolls on the lights and sewer and gas, and they know there's nobody living in them houses.
Carl just walked in, sir, and we've talked about that. He brought up the same subject. Go ahead, Carl.
This gentleman is absolutely right. Yes, it should be very easy to do. As a former mayor, I know for a fact that when you check with the utility companies, Ameren, the water company, they will and they have to, by public record, provide you with that information. I've been asking, I can guarantee you that the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition will be checking those, but this is where the problem comes into, my good friend, is that the Board of Elections is controlled by the culture of corruption. They don't want to see those names purged from those rolls. But I'm relatively comfortable. Matter of fact, I'm over comfortable in the sense of saying that I believe that as we approach November, those types of incidents, particularly in the home that used to be next to me, that there's still people registered to vote at, across the street from my home, and throughout East St. Louis and other parts of St. Clair County. It's not just East St. Louis. It's Belleville. It's Caseyville. It's other places that we're going to be checking every registered voting home that's on the rolls. And I appreciate your insight. It's people like yourself who use common sense and decency. You don't have to have a photo ID when you check for voting. That's kind of pretty much a rouge. But at the end of the day, it's about having people with integrity and decency and honesty, so you would ensure a fair election for everyone, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. Thank you.
Hey, Don, thank you very much, buddy. You're very intelligent. We're going to have you come on the show because if everybody thought like you, we wouldn't have the corruption. Don, thank you very much from the Alton area. Thanks for listening, and thanks for your service to this great country. And again, I can't ever thank enough the veterans, men, women, who have fought to give me the opportunity to talk and speak free and live free like we all do. So again, Don, you and every serviceman and woman, thank you for your service. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, Insane Broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane Broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio. And we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. I've talked with some people. They're talking about the judges. There's some stuff in the paper. 3 judges skirt the law. They're talking about how deplorable it is what Vera Civic and about the democratic culture of corruption. See, it's all over, people. We all understand now, after 40 years, what's going on, and things aren't going to change. And it says, don't fight the judges. The judges are corrupt. It's all over. It's all over St. Clair County. There's one that said, good for Romanik. I'm tired hearing about Bob Romanik is trying to spend. I'm tired hearing about Bob Romanik is trying to spend his own money to clean out the county courthouses. Can we afford 4 more years of Kern in the county board? Hell no. We've been taxed to death. We need more. We need no more. I'm all for him spending his own money if it brings people to their senses. And, you know, I can afford to run my campaign. Now, there's some political people, both Democrats and Republicans, that really can't afford it. And I understand if people want to donate. But what I don't understand is a greedy, no-count, low-life, good-for-nothing, sleazy son of a bitch like Mark Sweet Cakes Kern. This son of a bitch next month is going to have a big fundraiser, $125 a ticket. Now, this bastard's got more money than the law allows. I don't believe he made any of it. It was given to him by his dear mother and father, and I'm sure they're wonderful people. This son of a bitch is worth $15, $20 million, and he wants you, the people of St. Clair County, to give him money so he can run, so he can get elected and make another $100,000 a year for 4 years and get benefits and get a pension and put Herbie Simmons to work, his ass boys to work for $135,000 a year while he's screwing 98% of us, the decent people, both Democrats and Republicans, Vera Civic. Don't be talking bad about the Republicans. He's screwing all of us. And he's going to ask for people's money? I've worked hard. I'm fortunate enough. I'm going to finance my own campaign. I'm not going to ask anybody to give me money so I can get elected and go to Springfield and make money. And having said that, I'll go to Springfield. I'm not going to make a penny. I think it's an honor to serve the people of the 114th Legislative District. I'm not up there for a career opportunity. If I get elected, fortunate enough to get elected, I'll run 1 or 2 times. I'll do all I can do, and then it's somebody else's turn. Government service was never meant to be a career opportunity. It was meant to be just that, government service. You serve your country just like they do in the Army, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Navy, the Coast Guards. You serve your time, and then you go back to what you really do for a living. But these son of a bitches, and like Calvin Dye, had a $100 a plate fundraiser right after the holidays. Had it down in Centerville. You know, people don't have money down there. They don't have money anywhere. They had to give a lot of the tickets away. But that's what these guys do. They expect you to finance their ride. They expect you to finance for them to get elected and then them take the money. And people, it's time. It's time for a change. And I know you good people out there in 2016, you're going to help make that change. Now, I want to say last night, I went to Larry Stammer's fundraiser. He's a Democratic County board member who's part of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. Had a great turnout. He's running for county board. Now, Sprague doesn't like Larry Stammer because Larry Stammer doesn't always vote party lines. Larry Stammer votes what's best for the people in his district in St. Clair County. Doesn't vote because Sprague and Kern tell him to jump and vote like most of these son of a bitches do, like the Mosleys do down in East St. Louis. Hey, and Lonnie and Bobby Mosley. You got some crap coming this weekend. They tell me there's going to be a scathing article about you gentlemen, and I use that term very loosely, about you gentlemen not paying any taxes. And Lonnie's on a taxing committee, and they pay no taxes. And that's nasty. That's nasty, Mosleys. It's time for you guys to go. All you do is step and fetch for Kern. You don't need no proud black stepping and fetching for the white boys in Belleville. Oh, I'm sorry. The Mosleys are not proud blacks. You're what we call, let me be politically correct now, plantation Negroes. That's what the hell you are. But anyway, Larry Stammer, I want to salute him. He's fighting the fight. He's a Democrat by trade, but he's joined the coalition, and he's going to vote for what's best for his people, what's best for St. Clair County. And I want to put one more thing out. There's some people, there's a few Republicans, and I don't want to get in a pissing match with the Republicans. There's a lot of good Republicans, as there is a lot of good Democrats. But when Carl Officer, and I'm going to address that with him momentarily, and Roger Cook, they started and founded the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, I was the first member to join because, man, what a great concept. And it wasn't getting Democrats to become Republicans or getting Republicans to become Democrats or independents to become anything. You hear the motto. It's the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, uniting. Now look in the dictionary. Uniting, bringing together, uniting Democrats, Republicans, independents, men, women, black and white, to destroy this evil culture of corruption. Now there's people on both sides of the party lines that think that's not right. That's the only way we can defeat this culture of corruption. The Republicans have tried hard in the past. The last few elections, they just laid down because they became so apathetic because it's so hard to beat this evil Democratic culture machine. But there's enough Democrats out there now, true Democrats, decent people, who said, we're not going to take it anymore. We're coming over with the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. We're not going to be Republicans. We're Democrats. But we're not the kind of Democrats, the evil culture corruption Democrats like they have up at the courthouse in St. Clair County. So thus the concept, uniting Democrats, Republicans, independents, men, women, black and white, to fight the culture of corruption. You can't expect, if a Democrat wants to be a Democrat, you're not going to make him a Republican, but he's going to fight with the St. Clair County Coalition, the Freedom Coalition. We're going to unite. We're going to come into an alliance that we're going to work together and vote the person, not the party. The St. Clair County Freedom Coalition would be hypocrites. We would all be hypocrites if we said vote all Republican or vote all Democrat. Our major concern, and actually the only concern, is to get rid of the culture of corruption in St. Clair County. Let's knock that old house down. Let's build a foundation. Now, if the Democrats in 4 years that are with the coalition that help get the culture of corruption, these corrupt Democrats out in St. Clair County in 4 years, if they want to get away from the Republicans, if they want to get away from the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition and go their own direction, that's their business. That's the Republicans' business to go their route. You know, we've got blacks, proud blacks that are coming on with the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. We don't say you got to be a Republican. Hell, we might as well say then, hey, you got to be white. We're all inclusive. We want everybody. Can't say, hey, if you're black, we don't want you. Oh, if you're a woman, we don't want you. And if you're a Democrat, we don't want you. Hell no, we want them all. But there's a few Republicans that really take their Republican badge to heart. And I understand that. If you're a true Republican, you're a Republican. But you're going to need the help of the independents. You're going to need the help of the, quote, I guess, independent Democrats who have been run out of the corrupt Democratic Party because the true independent Democrats are going to remain Democrats, but they're not going to be corrupt Democrats. So the only way to get rid of the black sheep in their family is to unite with the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. So when we hear the Republican base say we're for it, but then there's a few Republican leaders who say you can't say vote the person, not the party. You can't say you're a Democrat. I say, hell yes, you can. And I'm running on the Republican ticket. And if that hurts me, it just hurts. If I get hurt politically, I get hurt politically. But what I don't get hurt in is keeping my manhood. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a hypocrite. I believe in the philosophy of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. I just wish everybody would understand. We don't want to make you something that you're not. We don't want to make you something that you don't want to be. We don't want to make you something that you've never been forever and you've been on the other side. We just want to make you all understand. We just want to make you all understand that we all have to unite. The analogy I'll give is the Democrats have the bus. The independents and the Democrats have the bus. They spend all their money on the bus. They don't have any money for gas, and they want to go out to California. Now, the Republicans, they don't have very much money. They can't afford the bus, but they've got just enough to buy the gas to get us to California. Now, without the Republicans, without the gas money, the independents and the Democrats aren't going to make a successful trip. Without the independent Democrats and the independents, the Republicans who also want to go to California, they don't have the bus to make the trip. So here's the concept. The independents and the independent Democrats take their bus. They unite with the Republicans who have the gas money. The Republicans put the gas in the bus that they can't afford. The Republicans get on the bus with the Democrats and the independents, and they make a successful trip to California where they all wanted to go. They all gave what resources they can. The Democrats didn't change on their way out to California. The independents didn't change on their way out to California. And the Republicans didn't change. And they probably got on that bus and they had some fights about politics. But guess what? At the end of the day, they all made that successful trip to California. Mayor, can you give us a little more insight? Because I know you've heard the same problem.
Well, I think you did an articulate job of explaining. And, it's really very, very simple. When you care about good government, this has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with gender. It has everything to do about St. Clair County government. Roger lives in a rural area. I live in an urban area. Roger's white, I'm black. At the end of the day, we came together because we saw the differences and we saw politically how this was impacting the community. We saw governmentally what could be different. And from just a few casual conversations over a cup of coffee that grew to maybe having lunch every once in a while, I've sat down with people who were from the Tea Party for almost 2 years. I was having breakfast meetings on a Friday out in Shiloh. And I swear that most of the people that I talked to initially were very fearful of even having a cup of coffee because they'd heard so many negative things about East St. Louis, so many negative things about what happened. And once we got a chance to talk to one another, once we got a chance to visit with each other, I have seen people now from every walks of this county come together. People who would have 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, would have never sat down and had a conversation. And I want to applaud you. I want to go with you. If I'm going to take my girlfriend, if it's okay, with her on the 13th of February out to the Daubers are good friends of mine.
Great
the
people.
Guys out of Freeburg. I want to go to that chicken and beer dance in Highland and take her there. That sounds like a winner for me. But, people from Freeburg to Brooklyn, Illinois, there really is no difference about their desires. I have talked to overwhelming amount of folks who are registered Democrats and registered Republicans who have said to me, we have seen where our leadership has lost their way on both sides. The Democrats are just as wrong as some of the Republicans have been just as wrong. If you are that much into the loyalty of a political party, and you don't care about the people that you serve, if you don't care about the community that you live in, if everything is about a D or an R, then you really need to sit down and have a conversation with Roger and I, and let me try to help you. But if you're that hung up on being a Democrat, that hung up on being a Republican, I'm going to pray for you, because at the end of the day, you're not a member of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. You're very prejudiced. All you want to do is something for yourself. You're not concerned about the people of this county. You're not concerned about the state of Illinois. You're not concerned about America. And quite frankly, you're not concerned about people. You want to control folks. You can't control people with a political party. It's just that simple.
Very well said. Mayor Carl Officer, co-chaired the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. Mayor will be with us. I'm going to get on the NAACP, and it's going to be me talking, not Mayor Officer. I'm going to give my take on the East St. Louis chapter of the NAACP. A white guy is, right after this break. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest. America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. Carl and I have been talking about the mission of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, and I want to salute again Mr. Robert Eastern, the councilman from East St. Louis, and Oliver Hamilton, the East St. Louis Township Supervisor, and all the people in their newly formed New Vision Democrats. It's a new vision for a better tomorrow in the proud community of East St. Louis. They've got their headquarters, I said yesterday, at 22nd State Street. These are two proud black men that got tired of all the corruption going on in St. Clair County that filters down to East St. Louis. They're tired of not taking care of their people, and they've stood tall to take a stand against the East St. Louis and the St. Clair County culture of corruption. Their headquarters, again, are at 22nd State Street in East St. Louis. The New Vision Democrats. Anybody interested in going another direction, still being Democrats, of course, but going another direction, trying to help get East St. Louis out of poverty, trying to help bringing East St. Louis into the 21st century, you need to talk to the good people at the New Vision Democrats. I think their headquarters are open every day. They would like to get people involved, like to get people out on the street, like to get people to understand what they're about. The New Vision Democrats, I guarantee you'll be hearing a lot more about them in the days to come. A great organization, a great new organization for the proud community of East St. Louis. We're not going to have enough time, but I want to address tomorrow Stanley Franklin. He's the president of the East St. Louis chapter of the NAACP. He sent me a letter wanting me to come to participate in a candidates forum down in East St. Louis. Now, they tell me it's going to be held at a church. Going to be held at a church that is controlled by the boys in Belleville. Now, I could be wrong, but I have to say, Stanley Franklin, where were you when that poor 4-year-old black boy died in East St. Louis? I was there giving $2,000. I was there on the vigil. Where were you at, Stanley Franklin, when they wouldn't let the proud black lady and the proud Hispanic lady walked down the aisle graduation at Althoff. I offered $10,000. Where were you? Where was the NAACP? Where's NAACP when people are starving down in East St. Louis? You know where you're at, Stanley Franklin? And I know I'm not politically correct on this. And I'm running. And my district is East St. Louis. And if it costs me votes, it costs me votes. But I have to speak from my heart. Stanley Franklin and the few elitists with the NAACP, they're having an NAACP banquet over at a big, expensive hotel in St. Louis with steak dinners with people in $500 suits. Stanley Franklin, there's poor people in East St. Louis that can't afford a $500 car, you idiot. And you say you represent the proud community. Where were you at, Stanley Franklin? I was down when the teachers were striking, trying to help them out, supporting them. Where were you when the policemen and the firemen were out picketing because they weren't getting a fair shake in East St. Louis? Primarily black police officers and firemen, firefighters. Where were you, Stanley Franklin? The president of the NAACP. You're all up Kern's ass. You're all up that white boy's ass. And this is a white guy calling you out, the president of the NAACP chapter in East St. Louis. Now, I'll say the NAACP is a great national organization. They're fighting for the proud black community, and I salute them today and every day. I support them today and every day. But I will not come and be part of a shill operation held by you, Stanley Franklin, the president of the NAACP, the East St. Louis chapter, because you guys are renegades. You're worried about the Kerns, the white people, giving you money so you can have a big black tie affair, not even in East St. Louis, when the poor people of East St. Louis can't afford bologna, but you're over in St. Louis having steak. Mayor, I don't know, do you want to get involved in this, or are you just going to let it go?
I'm going to go by and at least let them know that I'm running. And
you're running hard and strong.
That's true. But, there's some concerns that I have. But I'm going to go by and at least let them know that I am running for office. I want to thank you. I talked to a friend of mine yesterday, the commander of the Masonic Order that I talked to you about yesterday.
Uh-huh.
He called me again this morning, and I just want to publicly thank you and also tell you, this is what I'm talking about. So that has nothing to do with politics. I've seen you, particularly when it comes to children and when it comes to pets and animals and people who can't do for themselves. This fundraiser that they're having Saturday night at 7 o'clock at the Shrine, none of this money goes in the name of the Shriners. This money goes to widows, orphans, and to charity. It's all in scholarships. It's not like somebody's name is on it and all that kind of crap. And I just told him, I said, a friend of mine mentioned yesterday that he would make a contribution and he wants to do that. He said, well, I don't want to have any political speeches. I said, you've been inundated listening to the wrong people. So my friend offered to do it. I just mentioned that they were having it, and I didn't ask him for any money. He offered to do it. I think that's where a lot of these folks get mixed up, Bob. And I want to say this to all the listeners. When I listen to you make offers to help people, I've seen this, not just recently, but I've seen it for 5, 6, 7 years, where you've done this when you didn't have to. And it has nothing to do, you weren't running for state representative 5 years ago.
Thank you.
You weren't running for some political, you weren't trying to control somebody. You just did it because that's what you do. And I think that these people who, I look in the newspaper, particularly the Monitor newspaper and some of the others, and they have to splash all these pictures over the place where they're doing this, they're doing. Nobody gets asked for more contributions than I do at my funeral home every day in East St. Louis. And I get so many people who try to hustle me every single day. I believe in the words of Jesus, where your treasure is where your heart is. If you got to put your money into the hands of some politicians, then that's where your heart is. It's not in for the people of East St. Louis or St. Clair County or any place else. I just want to thank you. And I wish I could hang out with you tomorrow, but I got to work hard tomorrow and Friday. Have a great day.
Mayor Carl Officer, thank you very much. And again, I don't want to disrespect the NAACP because it's a great national organization. But the East St. Louis chapter, they're not concerned about the proud people in East St. Louis. I've heard time and time again, where the hell's the NAACP? Where's the NAACP? Well, if Stanley Franklin, the president of the East St. Louis chapter, is not up Mark Sweetcakes Kern's ass. He's over in St. Louis at a big celebration. No, it's not a celebration, Stanley Franklin in East St. Louis. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy what people like you and the boys in Belleville have done to the proud black community. A tragedy. That's all I've got to say about that today anyway. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, insane broadcasting, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. Come on back tomorrow. You know the routine. It's like Groundhog Day, but that's what we do. We get up, we eat, we work, we breathe politics in St. Clair County, but we don't need politics destroying us in St. Clair County. So people, on a serious note, think about the election coming up in November. Think about your family. Think about your family's future. Think about what's been done the last 40 years. And if you think it's going to change now, you're crazier and you're a bigger idiot than I am. It's not going to change. It's not going to change until we the people, change it. And we can do it together. We can unite. Don't have to change our color. Don't have to change our politics. Don't have to change our religion. But we can all unite to expose, to drag these no-good political parasitical punks we call politicians, drag them over the political coals of hell. And on November the 8th, 2016, do what we know we have to do. Destroy this cancer. Destroy these son of a bitches. Destroy them politically, of course. Right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats. And they're coming to